What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Monthly Mayhem Challenge. I'm shooting this episode vlog style as well because where I normally film is a disaster right now. So not going to film in there, but instead we're still going to get caught up. I've made a ton of progress on the truck, so it's back to trash talking. The truck, I got most all of the cage work done. The only thing I really haven't done at this point on the cage is add panel nuts so that I can actually bolt panels onto it. But it's looking really good. The cage is hard mounted to the chassis. I got all the tube work done that I had planned on, and from here I'm kind of working on some of the details. I designed up a 3D printed hood tonight, and it's actually already on the 3D printer. It'll be done in the morning. I'll see how I like it. I just drew up something quick, kind of roughly based on the hood that's on Jordan Pellegrino's car. Hopefully it looks decent. I'm not a huge fan of it in CAD right now, but sometimes it looks a lot better in person than in CAD. We'll see how this one looks, and if I don't like it, maybe I'll go with something a little bit more simple or, you know, conservative. This one, the one that's on that car, is really, it's got a lot of different crazy angles and kind of a scoop look to it. I replicated a number of those features, and we're just going to see how it comes out. Another big thing that I got done is I made some modifications to the 2.2 high racks to turn those into a 2.2 3.0 tire. So that means I had to cut out the backside of the 2.2 high racks and then transplant in a different bead. So to do this, I had talked that I was going to kind of look into doing some CAD to help me do it. And I did come up with that. I did a CAD design of a couple of jigs that allowed me to put the tire in both the 2.2 first, and then take an arm that kind of works as a protractor to hold my X-Acto knife, and so I could go around and cut out a very specific diameter on the backside of the 2.2 tire. And I think it was like around 3.6 or 3.7 inches overall. And then I took and I have a separate jig for the 3.0 tire. And I put that in there. Again, the same arm, and these arms are both bearing supported. And then again, take the X-Acto knife, cut out the backside of that 3.0 bead at the exact same outer diameters. Since they're the exact same diameter, I can easily glue in the 3.0 bead into the backside of the tire. Now I'm using a very specific glue for it. I'm using one from Star Bond Adhesives, actually. They had sent me a number of glues a while back, and I just had got around to using some of them here and there, but this one is specifically notes is a rubberized toughened formula, specifically good for RC tires. Lucky me. Gluing and modifying tires is not a new thing in RC. It's actually the first time that I've transplanted beads on my own though. I've been doing this a long time, and there's still tons of things that I haven't done, so it was nice to try it. Now, if you ever wanted to try doing something like this, I've actually already uploaded the files for those jigs that I made to cut the tires. I already put them up on Thingiverse. I'll link to them in the description below. If you, for some reason, would have a similar need to do something like this, you can have the tools that I used. I really don't have any plans on using them anytime in the near future again, so maybe one of you guys can get a little bit of use out of them since I'm done with it. Once I got the tires modified, they're ready to go on the wheels. I have not modified the wheels yet. I think I still want to take a little bit of width out of the backside of these wheels. I think I'm going to take and cut the most outer lip off, and then just move the tire bead to that inner lip. Shouldn't be too hard. And the new foams from Crawler Innovations also came. I'm going to use the heavyweight 2.230 closed cell inner, and then I'm using a 5560 with tuning ring medium outer in the rear, which is an open cell foam, and a soft outer in the front. Again, open cell foam. Overall, it's giving these tires a soft outer feel, which is going to be great in the rocks, but a nice, just supported, stiff inner section, so it won't want to tire roll on me or anything like that. And with the new modified tire bead on the backside, I think that this thing is going to track really well. A few decisions that have changed since the last time is that I think I'm going to leave the front bumper on this thing basically 100% as is. I actually like the way that it's fitting the cage. It's got that nice give to it. I think I'm just going to leave it just exactly like it is. Call it simple and easy. For time, I think that it'll work fine. The rear, I took out that support, and then I'm going to just take that plastic and bring it up and meet the back side of the cage. Again, simple, easy, nice transition. It will increase my clearance because I'm bending it up quite a bit, but it should be a very simple modification. I do need to get some other parts on the way still. I haven't got my bomber interior yet, and I still haven't got my motor. Got my ESC, my servo, receiver, all that, but I haven't got the motor. I haven't focused on it. Been really worried about getting the tube work done. I need to get all the body nuts put on and then make body panels. I was going to start making body panels tonight. However, I realized that all of the 025 aluminum that I had is dead soft aluminum, which is basically like thick tin foil. It's the same thickness of what I was going to use, but you can just push it with your thumb and dent it, and it moves too much. It's not rigid enough, and I think it would just be a mess to try and put it on this car. So I'm gonna have to scrap that, get some new aluminum panels so that I can get to modifying that. The blue painter's tape that you see on there now is just some, mock-up panel templates. I kind of fit it on there how I wanted. Other than the hood, that was just kind of to fill it in to see how I like the looks. And then from there, I'll take that off, transfer it onto the aluminum so I can start making those panels. I have a number of decisions to make on how to close up the chassis, both front and rear in the wheel well area. I think I'm gonna do that with aluminum panels or maybe Lexan panels, not sure, but I'll try and close that off as best I can. And as far as the competition goes and a lot of these things, I started to do some kind of thinking in my head, and I did start to worry about a few things. One, I built a heavy steel cage topper, which is going to give me some scale points. However, Matt's adding a bunch of nerdy 3D printed stuff to the inside of his, and that's going to give him a number of those points that maybe I wasn't going to have. And then he's going to kind of use like that Lexan cheater type shell on top, so he's going to be lighter than me there. And then overall, I'm kind of figuring that we're going to have similar performance in a lot of other areas. So I think I'm really going to have to beat him in driving by quite a bit, which I'm positive I can do. I've been around him enough, but he's going to have a pretty good advantage in points if I'm kind of just doing my mental math right in my head. So yeah, I think I'm going to go into this competition behind, unless I really try and play that Sorka game and really cram some scale points in there in weird areas and try to maximize things in any place I can. But after really doing some of that thinking, I do think I found a few flaws in my game plan at this point. Cracking open the Class 3 scale rules, I think, is definitely in my near future, and I'll 3D print some coolers and roll up some fake sleeping bags and get those stupid scale points as I need them. But I think that's going to do it for this week. I've had a lot of progress, got a lot done, still a lot to do, and I'd really like to try and maybe do just a little bit of testing on this thing at some point before it's finished. So fingers crossed, but in the end, we all know I'm still going to beat Matt, so I'm not that worried. But for the sake of drama of a YouTube series, we might as well play along. So drop a Sorka Class 3 scale point suggestion in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you on the next one.